Welcome back to the AI Daily Brief. Today we are checking in on AI and the government, and frankly, we haven't had a lot to talk about in this domain recently. Partially that is, of course, because of the election cycle, kind of dominating everything in politics. But this week, the White House has made AI advancement a national security priority. It defined AI as an era-defining technology. The landmark National Security Memorandum directs government agencies to step up experiments with and deployments of AI. During a press briefing on Thursday, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said, "This is our nation's first ever strategy for harnessing the power and managing the risks of AI to advance our national security." He commented that the speed of development in AI is quote-unquote breathtaking, and that it has the potential to change all manner of fields from nuclear physics to rocketry. According to unnamed White House staff, one of the key goals is to set clear guidelines on adoption. They said, "We must outcompete our adversaries. With a lack of policy clarity and legal clarity of what can be done and can't be done, we are likely to see less experimentation." With that in mind, the memorandum has some clear guardrails. It says that AI should not be used to track Americans' free speech or get around existing controls on nuclear weapons. It drew a line in the sand, in fact, that AI must never be placed in control of the launch of nuclear weapons. More generally, it says that the technology must not be used in ways that, quote, do not align with democratic values. However, it is very clear that the overall tone is one of acceleration. During a press briefing, a senior White House official said the U.S. currently has a very strong hand in AI. The nation is currently leading on designing advanced hardware and building advanced AI systems while catching up on domestic chip making. At the same time, the White House noted that innovation is largely driven by the private sector and needs to be followed by the government, particularly the national security agencies. They said a failure to do this, a failure to take advantage of this leadership and adopt this technology, we worry could put us at a risk of strategic surprise by our rivals such as China. The unclassified parts of the memo featured a number of extremely important policy changes. It is now official U.S. policy to, quote, lead the world's development of safe, secure, and trustworthy AI. To that end, the government is directed to promote and secure foundational AI capabilities. The White House said that U.S. leadership cannot be taken for granted and must be, quote-unquote, proactively strengthened. The U.S. government is now directed to harness powerful AI to achieve national security objectives. The memorandum noted that employing these systems effectively would, quote, require significant technical, organizational, and policy changes. Safety is a heavy emphasis, with the newly established AI Safety Institute directed to provide a host of risk and safety assessments over the next 9 months. Another key policy change is that advancing the ability for, quote, non-citizens highly skilled in AI and related fields to enter and work in the United States constitutes a national security priority. Defense and Homeland Security departments are directed to assist in rapidly bringing these workers into the United States. While this section seems to be mostly about the private sector workforce, it also implies more rapid vetting and authorization for non-citizens to work on sensitive military projects. Defense, Energy, and Commerce departments are now directed to make public investments and encourage private investment in strategic domestic and foreign AI technologies. This section has a large focus on computational infrastructure. Relevant agencies are now directed to streamline the permitting, approval, and incentives for AI infrastructure, including energy. The memorandum specifically includes nuclear energy as an approved clean energy source and mentions power transmission lines as a focus. The government has also been directed to guard against the risks of foreign actors obtaining U.S. intellectual property through technology transfers and data localization requirements. Collection of intelligence on corporate sabotage and infiltration of the AI sector is now a top-tier priority for intelligence agencies, with a view to securing innovations. Now, there are dozens of other directions, but the main point is that leadership in AI and rapid acceleration of AI adoption is now a national security priority. Throughout the memorandum, there was an overtone that the U.S. needs to step up and demonstrate the way to adopt AI without jeopardizing democratic norms. The memorandum stated, if misused, AI could threaten United States national security, bolster authoritarianism, undermine democratic institutions and processes, facilitate human rights abuses, and weaken the rules-based international order. Now, OpenAI, for their part, have already weighed in on the memorandum, providing their response in a blog post. They wrote, "We believe a democratic vision for AI is essential to unlocking its full potential and ensuring its benefits are broadly shared. AI is a transformational technology that can be used to strengthen democratic values or undermine them. That's why we believe democracies should continue to take the lead in AI development, guided by values like freedom, fairness, and respect for human rights. And it's why we think countries that share these values should understand how proper safeguards AI can help protect people, deter adversaries, and even prevent future conflict." They listed a handful of ways the company is already engaging with government projects, from cybersecurity to bioscience research. However, they noted we need clear guardrails and policies around how AI can be used. That's why we're taking a careful, measured approach to our national security partnerships. They continued saying that the new White House framework, quote, opens up the potential to support more national security work in the U.S. and allied countries in a way that stays true to our mission. Ultimately, if last year's AI executive order was about the government figuring out how to think about AI, this memorandum was all about how to deploy AI. It kind of reminds me of when Chuck Schumer and a group of senators released a policy sort of platform or framework earlier in the year it was way more accelerationist than you might think. It was not really about safety. It was all about American leadership. That was very much the tone of this announcement as well. There was a clear recognition that AI leadership is a non-negotiable pillar of US policy moving forward. Also a clear understanding that a lack of clear policy has actually stifled adoption rather than allowing boundless experimentation. During his speech, Jake Sullivan warned, even if we have the best AI models but our competitors are faster to deploy, we could see them the advantage in using AI capabilities against our people, our forces, and our partners and allies. We could have the best team but lose because we didn't put it on the field. Frankly, this memorandum is remarkable in how clearly it sets a whole of government focus on a specific area of national security. Gregor Allen, the director of AI at the Center for Strategic and International Studies, said, there are few precedents for a document such as this one which seeks to comprehensively state U.S. national security interests and strategy towards a transformative technology. NSC 68, which defined U.S. early nuclear strategy, comes to mind. Axios noted in a report that report was among the most influential of the Cold War and opened the door to big spending on weapons and defense, and this certainly feels like a seminal moment with those types of implications. That, however, is going to do it for today's AI Daily Brief. Appreciate you listening or watching as always, and until next time, peace.